Good morning, students. After completion of the unit number 1 in electrical distribution systems, now today onwards we are going to start the unit number 2, which is the classification of distribution systems. So as per the knowledge on unit number 1, we will proceed for the unit number 2. So let us start what the unit number 2 consisting is. So as per the chapter name, it is the classification of distribution systems. So what it consisting, what completely it discusses about. So let us see the contents which covered in the unit number 2, that is the classification of distribution systems. So classification of distribution systems generally varying on the different parameters. In this regards, according to the nature of current, the distribution systems are classified DC or AC and those comparisons. And according to construction, it is the underground or overhead distribution systems. And according to the connections, it is the radial or loop type of distribution systems. So in addition to this, requirements and design features of the distribution system. What are the essential requirements to make a proper distribution system? And after this, the design consideration of distribution feeders, such as the radial as well as the loop type of primary feeders. And those two feeders are designed based upon the voltage levels as well as the feeder loading. And in addition to this, basic design practice of the secondary distribution system and those corresponding voltage drop calculations in AC as well as the DC distributors into the following cases. Suppose if it is a AC, power factors refer to receiving end voltage, and also the power factor refer to with respect to load voltages. So these are the contents by which we need to discuss in the unit number 2. So let us start the topic 1, which is the classification of distribution systems. So generally, the distribution systems are classified according to different parameters. So in this regards, distribution system can be classified as follows. According to the nature of current, according to the nature of current, distribution system may be classified into two types. One is the AC distribution and another one is the DC distribution. So we know all of you what is the AC distribution, what is the DC distribution, even though we are going to discuss about what is the AC as well as DC distributions here. Yes. So as per our knowledge is to be concerned, nowadays AC system is universally adopted for distribution of electrical power, as it is simpler and more economical than direct current method. Yes. So from generating station onwards to up to the consumer ports, the power is completely AC power, alternating current power. Yes, but in some specified applications like mobile charging, laptop charging, DC is required. You simply use a adapter or rectifier and convert AC into DC and utilize for the DC purpose. Yes, so let us start the one by one here. In this regards, the first one is the AC distribution. So you see here, it is very clear. As per our knowledge is to be concerned, the generation, transmission and distribution all are in the form of alternating current only. And that too, why the AC power is to be widespread use, because alternating voltage can be conveniently changed in magnitude by means of a transformer. So that means that high voltages are to be converted into low voltages and low voltages are to be converted into high voltages with the help of a device known as a transformer. So that is the reason we completely depends upon the AC power. Such facility is not there in DC side. So transformer has made it possible to transmit AC power at high voltage and utilize it at safe potential. This is the special advantage of the transformer, so that the AC is universally adapted. In general, the AC distribution system is the electrical system between the distribution substation fed by the transmission system and the consumer meters. So you see here, what is the AC distribution system in the sense? The AC distribution system is an electrical system existing between distribution substation and up to the consumer meters. Is so you see here, the AC distribution system is classified again into two types. One is the primary distribution system, another one is the secondary distribution system. So let us start the primary distribution system here. So what is the primary distribution? So the primary distribution system generally existing between the distribution substation as well as the distribution transformer in general. So let us say here, the voltage used per primary distribution depends upon the amount of power to be conveyed and the distance of the substation to be fed. So this is more important for us because the primary distribution system, which starts from the distribution substation, and the voltage level of the primary system depends upon how much distance you have to be transferred to the consumers and what is the amount of the power to be transferred. So you see here, this is the clear view of the primary distribution system here. See here, this is the distribution substation. Beyond that goes to subtransmission, which is having high voltages, maybe around 33 kV. And this one is a distribution substation where subtransmission voltage is to be converted into 11 kV. This 11 kV cables are going to the load centers where utility is essential. So in this regards, a big consumer directly taking a 11 kV cable, 3-phase 11 kV cables, and constructing or establishing the substation in his own premises and utilizing their requirement. But whereas household consumers are not like this. Household consumers are a transformer which is placed in one particular load center. A group of consumers under this is to be connected. Yes. So they require one phase and neutral. So the voltage between phase and neutral is 230 volts. So therefore, a simple transformer, single phase transformer is kept in case of the residential load centers where 11 kV is converted into 230 volts. But whereas in consumers having a 3-phase, so at that time a 3-phase transformer is to be placed where 11 kV is to be converted into 415 volts. So in this diagram, primary system commences from the secondary of the distribution substation onwards to up to the distribution transformer primary. This is the main thing here. Yes. So see here, the most commonly used primary distribution voltages are 11 kV, 6.6 kV, and 3.3 kV, but hardly 6.6 kV, 3.3 kV. These are very low voltage, but 11 kV is more preferable to supply the load according to the consumer requirement. So due to economic considerations, primary distribution is carried out by 3-phase, 3-wire system as shown. Yes? So that is the observed in earlier slide. So similarly, the secondary distribution system. Yes? What is the secondary distribution system? So primary distribution system is commenced from the distribution substation onwards to up to the distribution transformer primary. But secondary distribution system is one which is commenced from the distribution transformer secondary onwards to up to the consumer port. Yes? So it is the part of the AC distribution system. The secondary distribution implies 415 by 230 volts, 3-phase 4-wire system. So the typical diagram of the secondary distribution system as shown is, so this one is the typical diagram of the secondary distribution system. So where 11 kV, a 3-phase delta star distribution transformer. Yes, A three-phase delta, primary side is delta, secondary side is star distribution transformer. So there are three-phase 4-wire. That means three phases R, Y, B along with neutral. Yes. So suppose the consumer is a three-phase consumer, they require R, Y, B three phases as well as the neutral. Suppose the consumer is a single-phase consumer, they require only one phase as well as neutral. The voltage between phase and neutral is 230 volts, whereas the voltage between phase and phase is around 415 volts. Yes. So at the distribution transformer, the voltage is stepped down to 415 volts and power is delivered to three-phase 4-wire AC system. So in this fashion, we are transferring power to the consumer so that according to the consumer level, either he is a three-phase consumer or to a single-phase consumer, and based upon this, he is taking connections from the site utility. Yes. So the voltage between any two phases is 415 volts, and between phase and neutral is 230 volts. See here, between phase and phase is 415 volts. Between phase and neutral is 230 volts. The single-phase domestic loads are connected between any one phase and neutral. See here, domestic load is nothing but a residential load. They does not require any three-phase power. So they are simply taking a connection between any one phase and neutral so that it will give the 230 volts, which is enough for all lighting and ventilation or fan loads. Yes. Whereas three-phase 415 volt motor loads are connected across three-phase lines directly. So this is the simple analogy here. So this is an example per house. So they are taking simply one phase and neutral. They require 230 volts enough. But factory is having more power. They are taking the three phases along with the neutral so that three-phase loads are to be running. Yes. So the distribution system classify primary system as well as secondary system. So primary system carry power from substation to distribution transformer, which is located in the load centers, whereas secondary system transfer power from distribution transformers onwards to the up to the consumer ports. Yes. Yes. So after the AC distribution, then we can go for the DC distribution system. Yes. Generally, the electric power is generated, transmitted, and distributed through AC. However, certain applications, DC supply is absolutely necessary. So tell me, students, DC supply where it is necessary. For example, we are using all electronic gadgets. All the electronic gadgets are operated through the AC, DC battery charging. But how it is possible? So therefore, every gadget has an adapter or rectifier. What it does, it converts AC supply into DC, and then according to the power rating, it charges the battery. Yes. So for instance, DC supply is required for the operation of variable speed machinery, variable speed applications particularly, and electrochemical work and congested areas where storage battery reserves are necessary. For example, in remote places, the power is not available. At that time, it depends upon the storage batteries. Yes. And similarly, for this purpose, AC power is converted into DC power at the substation by using converting machinery. Example, rectifiers, rotating converters, and motor generators. And these are it simply says that adapters which converts the AC into DC with the required power rating. The DC supply from the substation may be obtained in the form of a 2-wire DC system as well as 3-wire DC system. See here, again, the DC distribution systems, this was very olden system. Nowadays, it is almost not utilized anywhere except the HVDC transmission. But in olden days, before the power electronic converters which was developed, at that time, the DC distribution is used for the DC essentials. But nowadays, due to the power electronic technology increasing drastically day to day and converting the AC power into DC, so that simple devices are enough to convert AC into DC. So what are those forms? Yes, DC supply from the substation may be obtained in the form of 2-wire DC system or 3-wire DC system. So let us discuss one by one. So let us keep the first one as two-wire DC system. So two-wire DC system. This system of distribution consists of two wires. Is what is the DC two-wire system in the sense it consisting of two wires. One is the outgoing or positive wire, and other is the return or negative wire. Is so the loads such as lamps, motors, etc. are connected in parallel between two wires as shown. See here. So this is the DC two-wire system where positive conductor as well as the negative conductor. So all the loads, this is a lamp, this is a lamp, this is a motor. All the loads are connected in between the phase as well as the, sorry, you better to call it as a positive conductor as well as the negative conductor. Yes. So all the loads are connected in parallel between the two wires. Yes. This system is never used for transmission purpose due to low efficiency, but may be employed for distribution of DC power. Yes. So this is the two-wire DC system, and let's start the three-wire DC system. So it consists of two outers and a middle or neutral wire which is earthed at the substation. So the voltage between the outers is twice the voltage between either outer and neutral as shown. So see here, there are two outers. This is one, and this is the neutral wire. Yes. So the neutral wire is earthed at the substation. So what is the speciality of this system is the voltage between this conductor and this conductor is one voltage is available, and the voltage between this and this is another voltage is available. But the voltage between this outer and this outer, you can observe it has a double the voltage at the conductor. Suppose if high voltage ratings are necessary, so at that time this system is used in olden days. Is so the voltage between the outers is twice the voltage between either outer and neutral wire as shown. Is so the principal advantage of this system is that it makes available two voltages at the consumer terminals. This is the most important here. So in earlier system only one voltage has to be transferred from the substation to the consumers, but in this system there is a facility for transferring two voltages. For example, this is the 110 volts, double of that 220 volts. Yes. You can connect the motor loads with a high voltages so that high output can be achieved. Next, so the classification of distribution system according to the type of construction. So distribution system is, so distribution system can be classified according to the type of construction. There are two types. One is the overhead distribution system, another one is the underground distribution system. So let us start which system is preferable for which surroundings. So that is nothing but the choice of the system. Yes. So choice of the system, for example, beautification purpose you are taking. Beautification in so many foreign countries where our cine industry goes to foreign and take the shootings and come back because their streets are very, very good. All the electric, there is no electric pole in streets because everything is in an underground system for beautification purpose, appearance purpose. Majority of the cases using the underground system, whereas in generalized areas overhead system is to be preferred. Is choice of the system in the sense underground system gives the high appearance compared to that of the overhead system. The choice between overhead and underground depends upon a widely differing factors such as importance of service continuity. Importance of service continuity is one of the major concern, and improvement in appearance of the area. This is also another major concern. Comparative annual maintenance cost, capital cost, and useful life of the system. So you can observe all these parameters. The underground system will give the better functionalities compared to that of the overhead system, but the initial cost of the underground system is too much. So choice of the system maybe depends upon the different factors that such as the service continuity, appearance of the area, comparative annual maintenance cost, capital cost, and useful life of the system. Sometimes you observe here, sometimes a combination of overhead and underground system is desirable. In a mixed system, the primary distribution may be underground while secondary distribution and transformer may be overhead or vice versa. So the voltage regulation in underground system is more efficient than overhead system. It's very familiar. Why? Because once the cable is laid in the ground, it is very stable compared to the overhead. Overhead is all the cables are completely exposed to the natural environment, maybe of rains, snow. According to the season, the conditions are during the summer, high temperatures. So the cables, the transmission lines are distributors, maybe it stand for high temperatures, high snow, otherwise continuous rains. So that is the reason the efficiency of the overhead system is somewhat low compared to that of the underground system. Now, the distribution system can be overhead or underground. Overhead or underground. Overhead lines are generally mounted on, we know very clear. Overhead lines, how it is to be established? A steel or concrete. Steel or concrete poles which are arranged to carry a distribution transformer in addition to the conductors. Yes? So underground system uses conduits, cables and manholes under the surface of streets and sidewalks. So therefore, overhead system, how it is to be established along with the streets, we know. Number of poles in a sequence of distance is to be placed, and on the pole there is a cross arms and insulators are to be installed, and the transmission line is carried on the insulators without touching the poles. But underground cable is not like this. Underground cable, it is the sidewalks, or manholes. The cables are to be arranged in the underground so that it transfers the power. So every system has its own advantages as well as disadvantages, but which system is comparable, which system is better compared to the other system. So in this regard, the comparisons between overhead versus underground system is required for us. So let us start the comparisons. Overhead system as well as underground system. So I just mentioned here the serial number, parameter, overhead system, underground. So these are very essential for us. These are, one is the public safety, initial cost, flexibility, faults, appearance, fault location and repairs, current carrying capacity and voltage drop, useful life, maintenance cost. Similarly, interference with communication circuit. So these factors are very important for us, and this factor, how it differ with the overhead system as well as the underground system. So in this regards, the first parameter is the public safety. So can you students, can you imagine which system is more complicated in the public safety point of view? Why? Because in overhead system, all are in open places. Yes. Whereas an underground system, all are completely laid in the ground. So therefore, overhead is not safety or less safety compared to that of the underground system. So compared to underground system, it is somewhat less safety compared to the underground. Yes. Next, initial cost. But initial cost point of view, you can observe here. Initial cost is very less. Initial cost is very less for the overhead system, but whereas in underground system, the cost of the cable is expensive and the cost of the construction is expensive. Yes. See, the underground system is more expensive due to the high cost of trenching, conduits, cables, manholes, and other special equipment. Yes. So the initial cost is very high. In case of the underground system, even it gives the better performance. Yes. So flexibility. So flexibility in the sense, suppose any fault arises, you can easily repair. Why? Because every component is visible in the overhead system. So therefore, overhead system is more flexible than the underground system. But whereas in case of the underground system, it is very complicated. Yes. So expansion is very difficult, and replacing the cables is very difficult. But in case of overhead system, not like this. Yes. And similarly, another one is faults. So chances of faults is more. Chances of faults is more in case of the overhead system, because all the components is continuously exposed to the natural environment for all the seasons. But here the faults are very less. Yes. So why? Because the cable is laid in the underground system. And similarly, appearance point of view, all the lines are visible, appearance is this. But here all are inside the ground, but it seems to be very good. Yes. So fault location and repairs. So once in overhead system, faults are arises. So each and every component is visible. So resulting, you can easily identify where the fault is arises, and you can easily access the fault location, and the human power intervention will clear the faults. But you see that the underground system, it is very complicated. Once fault arises, you maybe identify the fault. Identification of fault is very, very crucial point in case of the underground system. Once fault is identified, so again you have to be remove that fault. So it seems to be another why? Because the cable is inside the ground. So that is the reason somewhat complicated the fault location and repairs. So current carrying capacity and voltage drop. Yes. So current carrying capacity and voltage drop, you see here, an overhead distribution conductor has higher current carrying capacity than an underground cable of the same material and cross section. Why? Because it is openly, spaciously arranged all the conductors. Whereas in underground cable, once a cable is to be laid, it has a fixed capacity, fixed rating. Beyond that, it cannot be carried. Why? Because suppose beyond that we can supply the power, the cable may be overheated and there may be a problem of insulation. So to avoid this such type of problems, underground cable always carries a power according to its rating. But overhead system is not like this. Overhead system, there is a provision for expansion of the power. Yes. So voltage drop is reasonable. Okay. So useful life. An overhead system maybe have a useful life of 25 years, whereas in underground system, the useful life is almost double. Why? Because it is laid in the ground, and it is completely protected, and it does not faces any atmospheric temperatures, very normal temperatures, and snow, rains. Inside the ground, it is very safe. So that is the reason it will give the high useful life compared to that of the overhead system. And maintenance cost. So maintenance cost, the overhead system has higher cost compared to that of the So underground, once you laid in the ground, until repair there is no maintenance cost. But whereas in case of this, due to interruptions from wind, ice, and lightning, as well as the traffic hazards, the maintenance cost is high. So tree trimming is every second Saturday the power is to be completely off because of that maintenance. Yes. So maintenance cost is very, very high in case of overhead system compared to that of the underground system. Interference with communication circuits. Interference with communication system. So an overhead, why? Because the communication lines also carries through the overhead lines. So resulting, there may be interference in case of the electrical lines as well as the communication lines. Yes. So in the interference point of view, underground system has no interference, but overhead system faces the electromagnetic interference with the telephone lines. So this is about the comparisons between overhead system as well as underground system. And so far, we discussed about the classification of distribution systems according to the nature of current, primary AC distribution as well as DC distribution. According to construction, overhead distribution system, underground distribution system, and the third one is the schema of connections. Yes, so schema of connections in the sense based upon the circuit connections, how the distribution systems are to be classified. Yes, so according to schema of connections, distribution system can be classified as three types. So those are radial distribution system and mesh or loop or grid type distribution system, and third one is a interconnected distribution system. So you see here, so radial and loop type are more important than the interconnected distribution system. So let us start the first one is radial distribution system. So you see the radial distribution system. So radial distribution, radial means from the substation onwards to up to the consumer point, only one path is provided to the consumer. Yes. So this is the substation. Here onwards to the feeder is keep on going. So this is also consumer port. See here, this is the distribution transformer located at the load centers. There only a single cable. After this also only a single cable. So radial connection is one where the source end to the load end, the power supplied through a single path. Yes. So any interruption taking place, there is no power until the interruption has to be rectified. So this is about the radial connection. Yes. So in this distribution system, only one path is connected between customer and substation. See, one path. It is one path only, the power is transferred from the distribution system as well as the consumer. Yes. So the single line diagram of the radial AC distribution system as shown. This is the single line diagram. This is the primary. This is the transmission feeder comes to the substation, and this primary feeder is keep on going and covering huge loads and huge distances. Yes. So therefore, what we can define, it is the distribution system, only one path is connected between customer and substation. That is simply known as the radial distribution. So if any interruption takes place, as per our discussion, any interruption takes place, results in a complete loss of power. It is very simple. Initial cost is low, and planning, design and operation is also very simple for the radial distribution, where you are taking the connection from source to the up to the consumer in a single path. So the drawbacks of radial system, let us see, compared to the advantages, are very simple, very easy to operate, initial cost is low. But drawbacks point of view, you can observe here. So source end to load end, maybe the distance is huge, resulting the end of the distributor will be heavily loaded. End of the distributor will be heavily loaded in the sense huge voltage fluctuations at the far end of the consumer. Yes, this may be considered. And second point, any fault on the conductor cuts the power supply to consumers on fault side. Yes, so there is no alternative for them. If fault arises, until the human intervention has to rectify that fault, then only the power will be available for the consumer. Otherwise, there is no power for the consumer because of single path that too has a fault. And third one, consumers at the distinct end of the distributor would be subjected to serious voltage fluctuations when the load on the distributor changes. So obviously the point number one is supports this explanation. The end of the distributor will be heavily loaded. So resulting heavily loaded in the sense high currents and low voltages, the resulting the high voltage fluctuations are expected at the end of the distributor. And due to this limitation, this system is used for short distances only. Why? Because one end you are feeding, other end you are utilizing. So therefore, based upon the distance, the drop is high, the loading is different, and uneven loading takes place, resulting serious voltage fluctuations are to be happen in the radial system. This voltage fluctuations may impact on the load appliances. So load appliances, the cost of the load appliances are huge. So once the load appliances are damaged, who is the responsible party? So that is the reason. Due to these limitations, the system is used for short distances only. And the second type of system, which is the loop or grid system. See here, loop or grid system. So substation onwards, a single feeder, and every consumer or every load has a more than single path, more than single path. Suppose any one path has any interruption, other path we will provide power for them. So that means that this type of system is more complicated, but preferably for emergency loads like hospitals, commercial business centers, shopping malls, such type of important loads only, this type of connection is to be prepared. In addition to these two connections, suppose in shopping mall, they are making their own arrangements like generators. Why? Because the load is that much important. Without power, the shopping mall, you can imagine what is the position of a hospital, what is the position of a commercial center, where high incomes are coming, and that too, the loads are emergency. So therefore, loop or grid distribution system or mesh distribution system having more than two parallel paths. So see here, in this distribution system consists of two or more paths between substation and the consumers. It is selected to carry its normal load plus the load of the other half of the loop also. So in a mesh or loop, the conductor is selected in such that it will carry its original load plus the load of the other half. Then only it can be stand. Suppose one side has any problem, the entire current goes to in this side. So resulting it can carry double the load than existing. So therefore, the type of conductor while selected to carry its normal load plus the load of the other half of the loop path. Therefore, the size of the feeder conductor in a loop distributor is same throughout the loop. Yes. So similarly, the advantages of this system will have to be observed. Voltage fluctuations are very less at the consumer ports. Yes. So voltage fluctuations are very less because of feeding at two ends. This is the one of the major advantage. Another one is the system is very reliable as each distributor is fed via two feeders. So that means that discontinuity of scope for discontinuity is very less. So that is more reliable. Next, and also the continuity of supply is maintained. Is, but there are so many advantages, but what is the drawback of this system is the disadvantages. It is difficult to design when compared to the radial system. Is, it is difficult to design when compared to that of the radial system. So therefore, if this topic is to be concluded, distribution systems are classified according to the nature of current, like AC distribution and DC distribution, and similarly, according to the type of construction, overhead as well as underground systems, and according to the schema of connections, the radial type distribution system as well as the loop type of distribution systems. So interconnected system is also a part of loop or mesh or grid type of system, but there is a interconnectors between one loading point to another loading point. Is, so this topic is to be ended. So thank you all of you.